to the Books, Life, and Shenanigans podcast with your host, Amanda Bird. Hey, and welcome to this week's episode of the Books, Life, and Shenanigans podcast. I know I've been lacking in the in the shenanigans department. So because of that, I have actually reached out to a friend who I would like to help me with shenanigans. So we're going to work on that at some point soon. They need to get some things in order before they can start joining me for that, which is going to be great because, I mean, the two of us can go for days with our shenanigans. So we'll figure that out and kind of go from there. Just wanted to let you know that. So I promise you the shenanigans part is coming back. I'm not renaming the podcast. I'm not doing anything stupid like that. The shenanigans will be coming back. Video, that could come back too. I don't really know. I did have something happen yesterday with my job, at least the day job. I no longer have it. They decided in their redesign, as they're calling it. It's the biggest bunch of bullshit I've ever heard. But anyway, they decided with their redesign that there were a few of us that were going to be let go. We got a decent severance package. It would have been nicer to have something a little bit bigger, but that's okay. It's fine. Because I do have that other job that I was getting up at stupid o'clock in the morning to start working. So now I can work that job all day, every day, and not have to worry about, oh, fuck, I have to call this customer at this time. And I don't have to worry about any of that anymore. Nobody dictates my schedule. And I don't have to deal with that anymore. So now I'm really excited because this is kind of that opportunity that I've been looking for. Instead of rage quitting, I get a severance package so I can start to maybe be self-employed within the next, 6-8 months here. So that's like super exciting for me. The people that I did inform yesterday, a couple of them were like, I don't understand how you're literally singing and dancing right now. Because I had like a 2-hour song and dance party. I had a great time, dancing around my living room. My cat's looking at me like I'm fucking crazy. I mean, she's not wrong. She's been with me for 8 years. She knows I'm nuts. But it was good. It was a good time. And then, some other things happened yesterday afternoon that were pretty good. I'm kidding. Those were also great. So yeah, we'll see how everything kind of goes from here. I will say that Phoenix has begun to rise. And if you cannot get down with that, back up because you're going to get burnt. Promise. Just because I can't control the flames. And honestly, I don't want to. I want them to engulf anything and everything that can't get on board because I don't need that shit in my life anymore, right? Neither do you. So welcome 2024 with a huge bang and another song and dance party. There's probably going to be another one after I'm done recording this episode as well, provided I don't wind up under another fucking tornado warning. So yeah, if I wind up under one of those and we hear that go off while I'm in the middle of recording, advanced apologies now for the weather sucking ass this afternoon. I'm trying to get this recorded and uploaded and ready to go before the nasty hits, but I'm in that window where it's gonna start coming in pretty soon. So, yeah, hopefully it's just like loud thunder that I can't edit out. Maybe like a tree branch falling on my roof or something that I can't edit out. So let's just cross our fingers because I don't think I'll ever get over the tornado PTSD from when I first moved to Tennessee. I was there like a week and boom, tornado. And I was like, motherfucker. So, yeah, I was in Tennessee for a week and wanted to come back. Unfortunately, it took me 2 years to come back, but whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm here and we're just going to consider that a blip on the radar. Amanda is officially a Floridian these days, to include freezing anything below 80 degrees, which is crazy because my native friends are like, what the hell is wrong with you? We don't get cold until it's below 70. And I'm like, well, I don't know, but I guess my blood thinned out just a little bit too much. I really can't tell you. All I know is I get cold below 70 or below 80, unless it's really humid. Sometimes it's just really nice in the 70s. So it's just kind of hit or miss. So on this week's episode, we're going to talk about publishing timelines and taking a fucking break. Publishing timelines, especially for indies, is probably about as important as it would be for trad. I know with my publisher, I had a certain deadline. My editors had a certain deadline, but I think my first editor actually went beyond her deadline too, and that was really weird. So yeah, it's just, shit happens. I get it. Like, my editor was supposed to get me book 8 back yesterday, and he has not done that yet. And that's okay. He might get it back today. He might get it back tomorrow. He knows my release date. And this is what I mean by publishing timelines, right? So the way editors work is they'll tell you, okay, they'll take a look at it and they'll say, I can have it back to you in such and such amount of time. The way my editor works is he will say to me, what's the word count? And I tell him, it's this. And he'll be like, okay, I can definitely get that back to you inside 2 weeks. And he works really hard to get it back to his people inside 2 weeks. He's usually pretty good about it. With this one, he definitely was. Final read through, which is after I go over his notes and his changes. I don't really, usually it takes him a couple days. So I'm not freaking out if it's going to take him another day or two. You know what I mean? I'm not going to freak out. And that's because I've learned him after, I've learned with working with him for 8 books now, how he works. And he knows how I work. He actually had nothing bad to say about what I thought was an absolute disaster at the end of book 8. He's like, actually, no, this is good because it lends to the character being absolutely bonkers. Like, she's crazy. Like, I can't even, she's not crazy, but you can see as the series progresses, like, how much more she's really starting to lose it, right? And how many more screws are really starting to come loose. So it's a lot of fun to write her like that. And yeah, so I did actually ask him to give me a call today because this is going to be super fun and interesting. So hopefully that'll work. We'll see. And I'll get back to the publishing time. You know what? No, I'm just going to keep going with publishing timelines. I was going to go over, take a fucking break, but no, why do that? So, publishing timelines. I have a thing where, because I have been so unreliable with my own deadlines, I do not like to announce my release dates until I know for a fact when I'm going to be able to release it. So for book 8, my editor is well aware of the release date for that one. Book 3, I still have yet to announce, or I still have yet to start recording the audio for that. So I don't want to release that release date either, especially with, the Books Go Direct project I'm working on and things like that. I am still in the stages with that of logo selection. So that should be finalized here shortly. And then I can keep building the website, which honestly, I've already got a fully staged site ready to go. I need to put a coming soon page for the actual website so that I can keep working on the staged site. There's not much left to do now. I mean, honestly, the big hurdle is the logo. I've chosen the logo. It's a great logo. The problem is, do we like the white version or the black version? And it's, the last I checked, it was at a 50-50 split. So I will have to check that again, probably after recording this episode, and kind of go from there. Okay, so maybe I just checked and it's back at a 50-50 split. Fuck. Y'all are killing me. Stop. I can't handle the 50-50 split. It was overwhelmingly the white logo, and then a bunch of other people jumped in, and that made it a 50-50 split, and then things were coming in kind of slow on the form, and it put it back to the white one was better. It's driving me crazy. So then I posted it on my author Instagram, and that was overwhelmingly the black one. But what's nice is one of the respondents on the form has over 20 years experience in marketing. And this person told me to definitely go with the white one because it's a lot easier to see, even with the shadowing being the way that it is. The black one can tend to be hard on the eyes with the way that that's set up. There are things with the black one I could change, but I'm not going to because the drop shadow is really cool. So yeah, I will likely go with the white one, but I really want to see how things happen. Mark Leslie actually just sent it out to some of his people too. I think he said 30 people. So I'm waiting for responses on that. But back to the publishing timelines, right? So like I said, because I have personally been, I'm not going to say irresponsible. Maybe with book 8, I was irresponsible, and that had a lot to do with how overwhelmed I was with the day job. Luckily, I don't have to worry about that anymore because that job can no longer affect me that way. So, which is awesome. I mean, I'm still going to wind up working, 11, 12-hour days, but I don't have to interact with other people and their bullshit and stupid nonsensical meetings about let's review my day, because, you can't just look at my fucking calendar and tell me what my day looks like or see what my day looks like. No. It's just dumb shit that, whatever. So because I was overwhelmed, I had to keep changing when I wanted to get the book to my editor. And then, I got it to him. He got it back to me on time. And now he's got it for the final read through. So if you're unfamiliar with the way the editing process works, right? You write the book, you send it off to the editor takes their time with it, and then they send it back to you. Now, most should tell you once you're done with these changes, send it back to me and I'll do the final read through. Or, if we have to keep going back and forth before the final read through, we can do that too. And all of that should be included, in the pricing. They shouldn't be charging you anything extra for that. I know my editor does not. Jason will never, ever do that to anyone because he considers that part of his job. And Jason is a very, very noble person. So he will make sure that he's not a dick like that. Sometimes his comments may come across as dickish, just like mine do. But that's because it's text, right? And that's why I personally throw emoji into my comments, especially when I'm being super sassy. But yeah, it's fun. Speaking of super sassy, I actually I just created a 3-song playlist a couple days ago because I just need it. I need it. It's 3 songs. That's it. Just 3 songs. 2 are Demi Lovato and 1 is Halsey. So it's Halsey, Don't Play. And then the 2 Demi Lovato are Confident and Sorry Not Sorry. I got to tell you, the way those 3 songs make me feel, if I start to get in a shitty mood, I just hit play on that playlist and I start dancing and singing, and it's great. And then I have another separate sassy playlist that has those 3 songs, and I don't even know how many more. And then I've got my happy playlist. I have so many different playlists on my phone. It's incredible. But that's the one that has been getting me through the past couple days because there's just been some shit going on. And I'm like, nah, motherfucker, don't play. And when I first heard Halsey, Don't Play, it was on Instagram. And I was like, yo, what is that? And I couldn't find it. It took me almost a week to find it, to figure out the name of the song so I could get it. So yeah. There is that. For those of you wondering, yeah, the dude's fine. Because he's fine. So publishing timelines. What I used to do was I would let my readers know in January every year. Okay, this book's going to be out this month. This book's going to be out this month. And I was on a 4. The most I've published in 1 year was 4 books. That wound up. I don't remember exactly what happened throughout the rest of the year, but throwing in, a quarterly publishing schedule really kind of fucked me up and helped push me into burnout, which I was in for about 2 years, and it sucked so bad. So it's not something I really want to do again. So now I have to kind of measure my expectations of myself, which is a huge challenge because there's so much I want to do this year. I would love to be able to release 3 or 4 books plus 2 or 3 audiobooks, 1 or 2 short stories. I can't. And then I was working my now only job, the other morning, and my editor had sent me a text message. So he lives, I'm on the East Coast and he's like Nevada. So he sends me a text message. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning here. It's 2 a.m. there. And I'm like, I was like, I don't know what's wrong with my brain, but I'm pretty sure it finally fucking broke because I just came up with another story idea, which is at least a trilogy. And fuck me, because I still have 13 Reasons for Murder to finish. And then I've got Serial Women of History that hasn't even started yet. And here I am coming up with another trilogy idea. Please help me. And he's laughing. And he's like, are you kidding? He's like, this is how we build your empire. You know what? He's not wrong, because I have been saying for the past, 2-3 weeks that fuck this. I have an empire to build. And if anybody wants to get in the way of that, isn't supportive of that, there's the door. Or feel the fire, whatever, doesn't matter, because this phoenix is rising from the ashes and she ain't got time for bullshit on any level. She's done. So, I published quarterly, went into burnout. And then since then, I've been really struggling because I know by letting people know this book is going to be out this month, for example, book 8 is going to be out February 1st. And then something happens and I have to push that back, whether it's a retailer thing, whether it's my cover's not in on time, which, by the way, my cover just came back and oh my God, it's fucking beautiful. So, it's not what Dee does, man. It's sure not what Dee does. I love his work. It's just, I don't have the capacity to work with Dee right now. I will throw work his way anytime I can. He does amazing work. He did the covers for books 1 through 4, though 2, 3, and 4, I think I wound up doing myself. And 1 I had him do entirely all over. And I love that cover. I love the grittiness of that cover. So at some point in the future, I may go ahead and recover books 2 through 13 in his style, have him redo all of them in his style, because it's just, I fucking love it. And also as indies, we have a thing with covers where even Trad does it. Covers will be updated over time to match the market. Like there's that weird thing now where it's like a background and this crazy looking writing, almost looks like it was hand scrawled, and it's in like a bright color like pink or yellow. Oh God, what's it called? It's one of the Lucy Foley books. Like that cover style, it seems to be like the new trendy thing among trad, but it's not really with indies. At least I haven't seen any indies doing it. They could be out there. I just haven't seen them. So, because I was letting people know, hey, this book is going to be out, this time, and it wasn't, I got tired of letting people down. So now I keep my publishing schedule kind of close to the vest. The only people who will know what my publishing schedule are my editor, the dude when he sees my dry erase board, anybody who comes over here to see my dry erase board, and sees the dry erase board and actually looks at my calendar of deadlines and releases and things I want to do. So I've got it broken out into like 13 Reasons, Serial Women of History, Morgan Davis serials. And under that, because I have like a weird Kickstarter mentality sort of thing, I have a section for stretch goals. Now, they're not stretch goals, but in the aspect of Kickstarter, but they are stretch goals for me personally. There are currently 2 things under that. I don't know if I will get to them. It's entirely possible at this point, now that I'm down to 1 job, even though I will still be working quite a few hours for a while. It's not going to be the end of the world for me. So, plus I've got the Books Go Direct thing, and I'm not going to be taking a profit on that until we start to see, a substantial enough return from those who sign up, hey, then I can start maybe taking a profit from it. But I might take that profit and put it into, my book series. I don't know yet. I haven't figured it out because I really need to temper my expectations. I'm one of those people who has super, super, super high hopes. And then I wind up kind of fucking myself over with those hopes. And then I'm very, upset. I'm dejected. I'm sad. And that also goes with people, right? But we're talking about publishing. So, I'll talk about that during Take a Fucking Break. So my big thing is I keep it very close to the vest. And as it gets closer and things start wrapping up and things start getting done, that's when I really start telling my readers about it. Like, hey, it's off to the editor. Once I get it back and start going through things, I'll have a better idea of when I will be able to release this and let you guys know, right? So right now I've actually got book 8 up on my site, which reminds me I have to upload the cover since I just got that back. I just got the cover for book 8 back, so it's on my site right now, ebook and paperback, available for pre-order. What won't be available for pre-order is the audiobook, because obviously I haven't recorded it yet and I'm still playing catch up, books 3 through 7 anyway. So once that's there, it's there. And then my pre-orders will not be on retailers. They will only be on my direct sales site. So that's my game plan, because to be honest, I can give readers a better deal on my site than I can give them on retailers. And then with BookFunnel, I think I went over this last week, with BookFunnel, I can also, excuse me, sorry, I don't know where my voice just went on that one. I can have all that delivered so that readers can sideload it onto whatever, platform they're reading on, whether it's Apple Books on their phone, Kobo Reader, whatever the case may be. So that just makes it easier for me. It makes it easier for the readers. And then BookFunnel handles the tech support, because I don't know shit about ebook readers. I could talk to you all day long about cars, computers, different software. You want to talk to me about e-readers? I got no idea. None. So yeah, I try to keep my publishing. I'm working really hard. It's not even I try to keep. I'm working really hard to keep my publishing timelines reasonable, instead of, with my hopes and things like that. So it's a fun, delicate balance. Now with trad publishers, like the bigger names, those authors usually get about you notice the release of the book is about a year apart, right? Especially if it's a series. So the way trad publishing works is the author probably has 6-8 months to write the book. And then the editor probably gets the book for anywhere from 2 weeks to a month. And then it goes through that whole process, and the cover process and the typography process, because they choose to do things painstakingly with InDesign. I used to do that, but once I finally got it down, Adobe just started charging entirely too much money. And I was like, forget it. I can pay one price and have this program forever and all future upgrades, and I don't really have to worry about it. I mean, there might come a point in time where they're like, yeah, we're going to charge you a little bit for it. And I'm happy to pay it. Absolutely happy to pay it. It's a great program. It's a web-based program. They have an app. The app's kind of wonky, so I always keep it on the web-based. And I use that to also kind of format the print book so that I can get my cover template downloaded, and I can send that over to my cover designer. So that works out pretty well. So yeah, I would expect, another day or two before booksgodirect.com is up and running, at the very least, with some kind of, sign up form and something that says coming soon. I do not have an exact launch date on that for when the website will be up and the newsletters will start rolling out. I do have to set up an automation for that as well, for the emails, to just say, hey, thanks for signing up. Emails will start coming soon. So that's kind of where I'm at right now with all of that, which is the perfect segue into life. Busyness. Take a fucking break. This has been, I don't know, October, I guess. October was when the shit really started to hit the fan with the busyness and all that. The dude's constantly busy. I'm constantly busy. We need, I don't know if he's ever going to do it, but I know I will. Take a fucking break, y'all. You're killing yourselves. And for what? For what? Does it enrich your life in any way? Or does it stress you out? Does it bring you joy in any way? Or does it overwhelm you? Does it make you happy in any way? Or is it just one more thing to check off of that fucking to-do list that can wait until tomorrow? Take a break, y'all. I can't I can't stress this enough, because what's going to happen is when you're burning the candle at both ends, you're going to end up exhausted and you're going to end up in burnout. And we've talked about burnout so much. And I don't think I could actually ever talk about burnout enough, because I am actively trying not to ever be there again. It's almost as bad as being super duper depressed. And I've been in both places, and burnout can actually mimic depression. So it's just not a good place to be. Nobody wants to be there. Nobody needs to be there. Right. So, our culture is that of, we must always be busy at all times. No, we don't. We don't need to be busy at all times. If it's not helping us secure our future, make us happy, bring us joy, no, fuck that. Take a break, walk away, go outside, go for a walk. I mean, I don't know. I would suggest it for anybody in Central Florida right now, because shit's about to get crazy here. But just take a break. An hour, 10 minutes, do some yoga, meditate, read a book, watch a TV show, whatever the fuck it is, just take a break. Call your friends, call your girlfriend, call your boyfriend, call your husband, your wife, whatever. Your mom, your dad, your aunt, your cousin, who the fuck ever. Take a damn break. It is not healthy to run yourself ragged like this. It's just not. Apologies, fucking rude ass siren. I really hope I can edit that out. You know what? Yes, I did. I paused it. That siren got really loud at one point. Actually, I thought it was coming here. It didn't though. So, burnout is a thing. Busyness is a thing, right? Like, our culture tells us to be busy is good. You know what? No, it's not always good. My dude is always busy. Because he's always busy, let me tell you how often I don't talk to him or hear from him. And it irritates the ever-loving fuck out of me. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. And it's not like he can really text me during work, right? Because he's got a very physical job. So he can't do it. I mean, he can from time to time, but it's not like he sits at a computer all day. There's a big difference. So, shit happens. It's not always ideal. It's not always perfect, but everybody can always take a fucking break, right? So take a break. I'm encouraging every one of you listening to this, take a break from the busyness, because in the grand scheme of things, if you don't have somebody to leave stuff to, when you leave this, when your body goes into the ground or gets cremated, what are you doing it for? Now, I understand those people who are doing it to secure a better life for themselves, because that's what I'm doing. But also, I have learned to take breaks. There are times where I'm like, nope, not going to take a break, not going to take a break, not going to take a break. But I can't do it I can't be like that every single day. And the reason I can't be like that every single day is because I kind of in the front of my mind have, don't put yourself back in burnout. So yeah, I don't, I get overwhelmed, or my brain just stops working for a few minutes. I will get up and walk away. I will do other things to take myself away from it, to give me a little bit more energy, to give me those energy pennies. So, but that's me. I understand not everyone is like me, at least one person in particular. So I get that. But also take a break, y'all. Do not let society tell you what is okay for your life. Don't let someone else tell you what is okay with how you run your life. If it's working for you and you're happy and you're able to enjoy your life, then keep doing it. But if we don't have that enjoyment, if we don't have that happiness, then that's got a lot to do with where the problem is. And a lot of times we don't have that joy or that happiness because we're overworking ourselves, and then we're getting overwhelmed. And then, that carefully constructed house of cards falls apart. And what does that do to us when that house of cards falls apart? Right? So think about that before you decide, oh, well, I got 100 things I got to do today. No, you don't. You don't. There's 7 days in a week. If there are 5 days that you allot to get these things done, divide it up over the 5 days, do 25 things a day or 31 day. It just take a break. These breaks are necessary to recover your energy, to recover your happiness, to recover your joy, to enjoy the things that you're building for yourself. It's not healthy for anyone, for yourself, for your loved ones, because people will start to feel neglected. And I can tell you, because I grew up, my dad always worked. My dad was always at work, and it would take, because of, traffic, it would take him an hour each way to get to work, from work. So I didn't actually get to see my dad a lot during the week because of that. On the weekends, it was great because if I wanted to hang out with my dad growing up, I could. But when you're a kid, it's a little different. As you get older and you see things and what's happening and what's going on and starting to understand things, it's different. But if you have kids, please don't do that to them. Please. I say this as someone who's been through some shit that I will probably never talk about on this podcast. If you know me, you probably already know a lot of it, at least if you're close to me. So don't do that to your kids. Don't do that to your family. Don't do that to your loved ones. Don't let anybody feel neglected because you're prioritizing something else over them. You need to make time for them. I'm actually going to end that right there because there's something. Yeah. Oh, it's getting windy. I hear my wind chimes. If you hear them too, there are those gusts picking up. But yeah, just don't let anybody feel neglected, not on your watch. If you're part of these people's happiness, if they're your family and you really do care about them, you need to make every effort to make sure that they don't feel that way. And a lot of people aren't going to understand, well, I'm doing this, this, and this today because it's going to help me secure my future. There was something my dude said to me a couple weeks ago about I don't get to spend as much time with you as I want to because I'm doing things to secure my future. And I appreciate that. I absolutely appreciate that. Does it hurt? Absolutely. Does it cause all kinds of weird feelings and thoughts? Absolutely. But there was one thing I learned that I actually have on a sticky note in my office from my healing program. And she suggested that, when the anxiety really starts to sink in and just be its evil self. And I have the thought that. So what that does, I think I talked about this in a previous episode. I've said before, I don't listen to previous episodes before I record, and I definitely don't write myself a script in case you were wondering. I'm pretty sure you're already aware that I don't write myself a script, but I have the thought that, right? So let me put this in a little bit better context. And out of the blue, let's just call it anxiety-induced thought is, my boss hates me. Does she though? Does he? Do they? Are you sure? Have they told you they don't like you? Or do they just act kind of indifferent toward you? So how about I have the thought that my boss hates me? So that's you telling your brain that it's a thought, it's not reality. And that's the big differentiator there. I have found myself using that a lot, and it's been very, very helpful. I've also found other ways, other things recently that I need to kind of stop and take a breath and close my eyes and just kind of tell myself a couple times, almost like I'm chanting it like it's a mantra, but it's not really a mantra. It's just me reminding myself and telling my brain to shut the fuck up. It's a liar. So yeah, we all really, really, really need to be taking breaks and, enjoying our lives, because again, for like the bazillionth time, we only get one. So don't fill it with, hurt feelings and neglect because you're too busy not paying attention. Stop, take a breath, enjoy it. Smell the gardenia. I do that every time I go over to my best friend's house. Every time I walk by her mailbox, I stick my face in that gardenia bush. Why? Because why wouldn't I? Like, why not? She's got great landscaping that she's done too, but just take the break, take the necessary time, enjoy your loved ones, your family members, your friends, those you care about. Let them know, show them just by spending time with them. Now, a lot of people have a thing where they don't necessarily see your time as a gift, right? I'm one of the few who does, and it's taken me until damn near 42 to understand that someone creating time, taking time out of their day, creating time, making that time, putting forth that effort, right? Like that kind of thing needs to be appreciated. And it took me, I just said it, almost 42 years to realize that. And now I am very appreciative of it. But there is a difference between, someone giving you a little bit of time, making a little bit of time for you, and then it doesn't lead to, it actually is what's called breadcrumbing, where they give you just a little bit of time to keep you satisfied so that you're not complaining and things like that. So it does, being breadcrumbed is fucking awful. When you feel like you're being breadcrumbed after you've already been breadcrumbed, that starts to raise flags in your head. And then you're like, no, this is not going to fly. So if you do feel like you're being breadcrumbed, I was going to talk about this next week, but honestly, it's like a 3-minute conversation. If you do feel like someone is breadcrumbing you, one of your loved ones, right? Like they're giving you enough time to keep you quiet. Say something. Speak up. And if they give you bullshit answers, don't deal with it. Because I know when I start to speak up about it to who I need to speak up about it to, I don't want to hear it. There's no fucking excuse. You want to spend time with me or you don't. End of story. But yeah, now, I've actually had this conversation with my best friend too. A couple times. I'm like, I kind of feel like, you're treating me the way that he did and da-da-da-da-da. And when I say he, I mean the ex. And at one point, her and I got into like this really long conversation about it. And she was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. And see, this is why these conversations need to be had, right? Difficult conversations need to be had in any relationship, because we can't read each other's minds. I don't know how you're feeling if you don't tell me. You don't know how I'm feeling if I don't tell you, right? So in any relationship, for any relationship to work, the difficult conversations have to exist. If you're incapable of having them, then you need to get out of that relationship. You need to not be in it. And I can tell you, that's kind of a newer standard for me. That's a newer thing for me. And that has come from even my own inability to have the difficult conversations, which is funny because I know some of y'all are listening to this right now going, yeah, right. Like you don't have a problem talking about the difficult conversations, Amanda. You've never. Oh, but I have. I absolutely have, whether it's with certain people or, just over a specific amount of time where, for 6 months, I'm like, I can't bring myself to talk about the things I need to talk about with these people, the things that are bothering me, with whatever the case may be. But I've learned a lot, man. If marrying a narcissist, where was I? That's right. If marrying a narcissist has taught me anything, it's, I am no longer going to be around. I'm no longer going to let anyone into my inner circle that I don't feel like I can talk to. So yeah, that's where that is. I mean, I don't know. I keep thinking that, that whole experience was something that I needed. But no, it wasn't. I could have learned how to be this way, how to finally start accepting things and learning the things I'm learning. I could have learned them in so many other ways instead of an abusive relationship. But it happened. I'm still here, and the phoenix is rising. So y'all, please, please, please just start taking breaks. Even if you're single, take those breaks. Do some shit for you. Make yourself happy too. Even if all it is a 5-minute break to just quick have a little dance party to 1-2 songs, just stop killing yourself for jobs, companies, people, whatever the case may be. Stop killing yourself for shit that doesn't matter, right? Because in the long run, your company's going to fire you. They just mine just let me go as a layoff, because they're restructuring, redesign, get the fuck out of here. This company makes up their own terms, so it's whatever. So I killed myself for that company for over a year and a half. So no, I'm not doing that for any job ever again, unless it's me being self-employed, right? And even that, I don't know that I'm going to kill myself for that either. Because with burnout being a thing, it's very possible if I were to go, be self-employed and back on a quarterly publishing schedule, plus running, the website and newsletter, that I'm trying to start to help other authors, so that we can grow our direct sales base. Well, bases, right? I don't know. Forget it. We're not going to get into the English language here. Nope. Do that enough with the editor. So just please take a break. There's nothing that you can do that's more important than you are and your loved ones are. So on that note, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, make sure you follow me wherever it is you are listening to me right now, and take care, take a fucking break. This has been the Books, Life, and Shenanigans podcast with Amanda Bird. Song credit, audionautics.com. Intro action, AUDIONAUTIX.com. And if you'd like to support this podcast, head over to substack.com/@Books, Life, and Shenanigans.